This is the CCEA mathematics paper. This is M3 with calculator, higher tier, and it's from November 2021. Let's take a look at question 1. Dylan needs to get part of his house painted. He has a budget of £200. He needs to buy 3 tins of paint, each costing £16.75. He employs a painter who is paid £12.30 per hour. How many full hours will their painter have to complete the work without going over Dylan's budget? So first of all, we obviously need to do 3 times 16.75. 3 times 16.75. And that gives us £50.25. Then we're going to do 200, take away £50.25, and that's £149.75. So that's how much he has to spend on the painter. So we then do £149.75 divided by 12.30. 149.75 divided by 12.3, and that gives us then 12.17. So they've asked for full hours, so of course the answer then must be 12. Question 2. Jessica fits guttering around buildings. She measures the length and width for rectangular sheds in meters. To work out the total amount T of guttering needed, Jessica uses the formula 2L plus 2W. Jessica measured a shed. It was 6.1 meters by this. The total T was 19.9. Work out the width of this shed. So you can do it a couple of different ways, but I'm going to do 19.9, take away 2 times the 6.1. So 6.1 here and the 6.1 here is going to be what we're left with. So 19.9 take away 12.2. 19.9 take away 12.2. I've typed in the wrong thing. 19.9 take away 12.2 is then 7.7. And then 7.7 divided by 2 gives me 3.85. So my answer then is 3.85. The other thing you could do is, of course, sub it into the formula. So 19.9 there, and then your 2 times the L, and that will work as well. Number 3, ABC is a right angled triangle. ACD is an isosceles triangle, and BCD is a straight line. Calculate the size of the angle ACB. So angle ACB is going to be 180, take away 90, take away 64, and so that then gives 26. Hopefully that's okay. We know that one and that one. So that's your triangle. Angle ADC, if that's 26, then we know that is 154, and if these two then are equal, because it's isosceles obviously, so it's 180 take away 154, which gives me 26 again, and then 26 divided by 2. So my answer for that angle then is 13. Question 4, more guttering. Guttering costs £4.30 per metre. Martin bought 11 metres of guttering and 7 metres of downpipe. He paid £66.55 in total. How much does downpipe cost per metre? So Martin bought 11 metres of guttering at £4.30. So £4.30 times 11. That gives me £47.30. He paid £66.55 in total, so £66.55 take away £47.30, and that gives me £19.25. And he had 7 metres of downpipe, so we need to divide that then by 7. So it's £19.25 divided by 7, and we get 2.75. So how much does downpipe cost per metre? It costs then £2.75. Question 5. A solid is made from 1 meter cubes. On the grid below, draw the side elevation of the solid. So let's see, along the bottom it's going to be 3, and then it goes 3 high. Can you see that? Because that's the third one, that's going to be high, and then it just kind of staggers its way down. So we want to draw something then like this. Again, nice thick lines so the examiner can see it. This will all come together in a wee second. I promise you'll be able to see what's going on. So that's my side elevation there. That's it, I think. What's the smallest number of cubes you would need to add to the solid to make it into a cube? So if you make this, so there's going to be a side there of 9, because it has to be then kind of 3 by 3 by 3. So to make this up here, we'd have 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2 plus the 5 gives me 7, and then 7 plus the 9. I hope you can kind of see that. The other thing, of course, you could just kind of count the cubes is maybe a decent thing to see. So the answer is going to be 16. That's kind of another reason for it. If it, along the bottom there we have 6, and then we have 4, we have 10, we have 11, and we need 27 to make a 3 by 3 by 3 cubed. So if you take that away, then the answer would be 16. Maybe that method makes more sense. In a group of students, 6 study music, 15 study drama, 11 study only drama. So that means that 4 must study those there, and if 6 study music, then we're going to have 2 there. 3 study neither subject. We have that. Complete the Venn diagram then that shows this information. So that was the information there filled in. I hope that was okay. A manager is preparing to draw a pie chart to display how 40 workers travel to work. The information is below here. We have there, use the information in the table to work out what angle will represent those who travel by bike. So there's going to be a total of 40 people. And so the angle then would go into 360. So our magic number, as I always call it, is over times in this by, so we're timesing that then by 9. So we're times this by 9 to get 45. That must be 5. We've times this by 9, then that must be 12. 7, if we add these up then, 5 is going to be 17, 24, 34. So it must be then kind of 6 people. Work out that angle times by 9, it would then have to be 54 degrees. The other thing you could do is work out those angles, I suppose, and then work out then from there. But my angle that I want for this one then is 54 degrees. Question 8. A landing pad for a helicopter is a white circle of radius 8 meters. It is painted on a black rectangular plot 28 by 22. What is the area of the plot that is not painted white? So we need to find the area. Say it's okay, black, the black bit. So we want to do first of all 28 times 22, and that gives 616. And then we want to take away our circle. So area is pi r squared. Area then is pi multiplied by 8 squared, because it's a radius then of 8. If you put that into your calculator, you get 201.06 more or less. So if we subtract those two, then 616 minus 201.06, we'll get an area then of 414.94. That's meters squared. Give units with your answers. You would get a mark there for putting in your meters squared. Tracksuit normally costs £75. In a sale, the price is reduced by 15%. Calculate the sale price of the tracksuit. So you can either work out 15% and take it off, or whatever way you want to do that. So let's go to a nice slow method to make sure that we're doing. 1% is £75 divided by 100. That would be then 75p. 15% is 75p times by 15, which gives me 11.25, and then so the sale price then is 75 take away 11.25, and that gives me £63.75. There are quicker ways of doing that, but that's kind of the slow method. The following week the shop displayed this sign: final stock clearance, a further 20% off all sale prices, so that the tracksuit now costs £51. So £63.75, and we've got to find 20% of this. So again, 1% would be 0.6375, then 20% is £12.75. So 63.75 take away 12.75 gives then £51, and that'll work. Reese says I am getting 15% off, then 20% off, so I'm getting 35% off 75. Is he correct? You must show working to explain your answer. No, he is not correct. If you just check it and see, so it's going to be different. 35% of 75. Let's go. 1% is 75p. I've taken that from earlier. 35%. 26.25, and so if we did 75 take away 26.25, we get 48.75. So that's different obviously then than 51, because, and so there's my reason there, I suppose. So not equal to 51. Question 10. A girl collects the following data in meters in the science experiment. These are her values here. She states the median is the one in the middle, so my median is 0.54. Explain why she is not as correct. Of course, the data isn't in order. She then decides to show her data in a stem and leaf diagram. The first three are recorded. Complete the stem and leaf diagram, and so we're going to have those. So let me see, if we go for the 0.3s, and so I wonder, can you see both of these that we're doing? You can just about see, I think, at the top of the screen. So it's 0.32, 0.39, and 0.36. For the 0.4s, 0.43, that one's in, 0.49, 0.48, so that's 8. And 9. The 0.51 is in, 0.54, 0.52, 0.54, 0.52. So there's two 2s, and then there's two 4s. Remember to keep these lined up. That's the important thing about your stem and leaf diagram. And then the 0.6 is cheaper left with a 0.64, a 0.62, a 0.68, and a 0.60. So we would have a 0, a 2, a 4, and an 8. The other thing you definitely need is a key, and they have a key in there in terms of that. Give one advantage of displaying the data in a stem and leaf diagram. Well, just the reason we had above. The data is now in order, if you can read it. Data is now in order. Use a stem leaf diagram to write down the correct median. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we need to kind of find the middle one of 15. So it's going to be the 8th ones along. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so it's going to be then 0.52. The attendance for some classes is shown below. Class A, 17 pupils out of 20 were present, 21 out of 24, 19 out of 22. Which class had the highest percentage attendance? Okay, 17 over 20. That gives me 85%. 21 out of 24 is actually 7/8, so you might already know that, but you go 7 divided by 8 will work. The alarm going off here, give me a second. So That gives you, I don't know if you can see it, it's kind of hard to see in the line, 0.875, 8 times by 100. Obviously gives then 87.5. 21 out of 24 is the way we work that out. And then 19 out of 22. And that gives in 86.36. 19 out of 22, 86.36%. So you must show you're working which class at the highest percentage, and so it's going to be then B. Question 12. On the grid below, draw the graph of y equals 3x minus 4. Two classic ways of doing this. We could substitute in the numbers, anything between minus 3 and 3. So if you wanted minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, or even just a couple of those, substitute those in. But the way I'm going to do it is y equals mx plus c. And the c here is my y-intercept. So I know it crosses in at minus 4. And then every time I go across one, I go up 3. Now I need to be careful here because of the scale. You need to actually go by the scale. So I go across 1 and then up 3 from minus 4 takes me to minus 1. Then across another one, so minus 1, and that then takes me to 2. Then across another one, and that then would take me to 5. And you can see then that the straight line I have, if you want to kind of keep it going, from minus 4, another one, it would go to there, and then we would go to there. So we can get a nice straight line. So I'm going to bend this around here, hopefully you're able to see most of those. Go all the way through then, so that's a line y equals 3x minus 4. 13a. So the area of the trapezium is 36 centimeters squared. Calculate its height h. So our formula for the area, and again this is in your formula sheet. You just grab one here, so it's on the inside cover of your test. If you look at it there, a half a plus b upon 8. The bad news is then we don't get a mark for that, but at least it is given to us. So area is a half a plus b h, and then I fill in what I know. So 36 is equal to a half. 6 plus 10 is going to be 16 times h. 36, half of 16 is 8. H, from here to here if you want, h is 36 divided by 8, and that would go then 4.5 times. Different trapezium is drawn below. 7, 11, 5, 5 and y. Calculate its height y. We could do this a couple of different ways, I suppose. If that's 5 and that's 5, it needs to be kind of then symmetrical, so it means that that there would be 2. I hope you can see that. So that's 7, it means that's 2, and that's 2. Then just even those up because they're both the same. So we can actually now use, to see the right angle triangle there, we can use Pythagoras then to use that. So that would be our c, and then our a, and our b. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. 4 plus b squared equals 25. b squared is 21, taking away the 4 from both sides. So our y then, I should have changed that to y, is the square root of 21. Put it in your calculator, you get something like 4.58. Question 14. A number expressed as a product of its prime factors is 2 squared times 3 times 5 squared. What is the number? Just put it in your calculator if you want. So it's 4 times 3 times 25, and you get 300. This number is multiplied by 9. Write the new number as a product of its prime factors. So it's going to be 2 squared times 3 times 3 squared times 5 squared. I hope you see what I've done there. Do you see I've changed the 9 into a 3 squared because that's just prime numbers, and that means then I'm going to have 2 squared times 3 cubed times 5 squared. Is the new number a square number? You must explain your answer. This isn't a square number. These would all need to be multiples of 2 if it was going to be the case. Or you could just kind of multiply it out and check. The answer is no. Powers aren't all multiples of 2. The other thing is just do the sum. You just times this by 9 and just say, 2700. So that's what that number is in. Times by 9 isn't square, and that would be totally fine. That's maybe more intuitive for people, Jane completes a 5-kilometer race in 24 minutes. Calculate her average speed in kilometers per hour. So we need to be careful here. 24 minutes, so 24 out of 60 is the amount of hours in that she took. 24 out of 60, obviously they both divide by 12, and that would give me then kind of 2/5. So speed is distance over time. It's 5 over 2/5, or if you want then 0.4, but it gives you then 12.5 kilometers per hour. You just need to be careful because they want kilometers per hour and it's given minutes. You need to change it into 2/5, or if you want then 0.4. So 5, if you want 5 divided by 0.4 is probably easier for you in your calculator. Last year a company made a profit of 152,650. This year a company made a profit of that. Work out the percentage decrease in the company's profit. Give your answer to 1 decimal place. So we need to work out first of all the decrease in the profit. So it's 152,650. Take away 104,760, and this then is the decrease in the profit. So 152,650. Take away 104,760, and that gives me 47890, and then that's the percentage end of the first one. So the way we find our percentage is going to be 47890 all over 152,650, and then times by 100 and give your answer to 1 decimal place. So divide by 152,650 equals 100 equals, and I get 31.37. So the percentage then, the 1 decimal place, is 31.4%. James can throw a javelin 49 metres. His target is to throw 4% further each year. If he stays on target, how many years will it be before they do not throw the javelin 55 metres? You must show your working to your answer. So 49, and you can work. You're just going to work out 4% of this, then and add it on. There is a wee clever way to do it, where if you multiply by 1.04, that will do it. So 49 multiplied 1.04, and equals then 50.96. So it'll be 1 year. It would be 50.96. Now if you didn't follow that, just go back to basics. Find 1%, find 4% and add it on, and that's all I've done there. Alright. After 2 years then, 52.9984. So that'll be 2 years. And again, the other wee trick will work, multiply by 1.04, 1.04, and I'm at 55.11, so it's 3 years is the answer, 55.11. So my answer then would be 3 years. It's like a compound interest question, really, just kind of hidden. The number of hours of daily sunshine is recorded at a resort during 4 months. Calculate an estimate for the mean hours of daily sunshine at the resort during the 4 months. So we need to find our midpoint, and then we're going to do midpoint times by frequency. So midpoint here is 1.5, 3, 4, 4.5, 7.5, 10.5, and then 13.5, and we need to multiply these. So half of that now will be 27, I think, 45 times 4.5. 202.5. 37 times 7.5. 277.5. 19 times 10.5 is 199.5, and then 4 times 13.5, it gives me then 54. So I add these up then. 54 plus 199.5 plus 277.5 plus 202.5 plus 27, and that equals 760.5. I then add up my frequencies. 18 plus 45 plus 37 plus 19 plus 4 is equal to 123. And so my estimated mean then are those two things divided. So estimated mean 760.5 divided by 123, and I get then 6.18. Janet sees a scattergraph which displays the age and blood pressure of 10 adults. So age going along the bottom, blood pressure on the top. Janet is age 41 and her father is 84. She comments that a good estimate for her blood pressure would be 139, whilst a good estimate for her father's would be 156. Do you think her estimates are reliable? Explain your reasoning clearly. So let me see. Janet is 41. And she thinks 139, so 41. So we go up at 41. It's not very accurate looking, but that's a half, yeah, and 139. So that looks good. And then for her father is 84. I'm worried about this one, I'll show you why. So it's 84. Is going that way, and then reading across is indeed 156. Is that what you said? Yeah, that's fine. I think hers is good. Good estimate for Janet. Father's isn't as reliable, and here's why. Look at all the x's, they're all in this wee region here, whereas her father's kind of outside the range. So her father is outside the range, so not as reliable. Diagram below shows a square and an isosceles triangle. They have the same perimeter. By forming and solving an equation, work out the perimeter. So this one's a square, so the perimeter is 4 of those, so it's 4c. And then that equals c plus 3 plus c plus 3 plus 5. So 4c equals 2c plus 11. Take away 2c from both sides. So it gives me 2c is 11. And then c is 5.5. So if c is 5.5, they want the perimeter, of course. So 4 then 5.5, so it's 4. That's the perimeter. It's 4 times 5.5. And so that then gives us 22. Calculate the surface area of a sphere with diameter 12 centimeters. So notice there it's diameter. So first of all, we're going to need to know that the radius is 6. And then we go here, surface area 4 pi r squared. So it's going to be 4 pi r squared for a surface area. So that's 4 times pi times 6 squared. And if you put that into your calculator, you get 452.3 893, I think. So we would go 452.39. Question 22. Calculate the size of the largest angle in the rhombus you must show your working. So we need this angle here. So what I'm actually going to do is split it up and then lift out one of the wee triangles. So I'm going to lift out this wee right angle triangle here and draw it down here and put in the information we know about it. If that's 16, then this needs to be 8. If this is 30, then that's going to be 15. And this, I hope you can see, is this. And that's half of the angle that we want. So I work out this angle here and then times it by 2. So I'm going to use trig for that. This is the opposite. This is the adjacent. And this is the hypotenuse. So I have O and A. So I'm going to use tan. Tan x equals O over A. Tan x equals 15 over 8. X then is tan to the minus 1. 15 over 8. $61.9275 and 5, then times by 2, 123.855, 123.855. So it's going to be then 123.86, then the 2 decimal places. Mr. Davison's class did a test. Their scores are shown on the box plot, but the box plot is incomplete. The range of scores is 25 more than the interquartile range. Use this information to complete the box plot. So the interquartile range goes from there. So the 32 take away 19. So 32 take away 19, then is 13. So that means the range is 25 plus 13, which is 38. If that's a 10, and we got to add on 38, then it should be drawn then at 48. So 10, 20, 30, so 48. Explain why the interquartile range may be a better measure of spread for this distribution on the range. Just, I guess, the range might, you might have one person who's got 48 and then everyone else is kind of way down here. That's a kind of a big stretch up there. So the range can be affected by an extreme value. Kevin scored 32 marks in his test. What percentage of the class scored lower than Kevin? So he got 32. So if we look here, 32 is right on this here. So 32 is there, and because that's 25%, 25%, 25%, 25%, that's what the quartiles do. And then there's 75%. Then are going to be below him. A survey was carried out to estimate how many people own a smartphone. Results of the survey shown below. Do own a smartphone, don't own a smartphone. Based on this sample, estimate the number of people in a town with a population of 15,000 who might own a smartphone. So it's 236 plus 64. They add the 300 in the town who might own a smartphone. So it's going to be 236 out of the 300 people multiplied by 15,000. 236 divided by 300. 11800. The sample data was obtained from a group of 17-year-olds. Do you think your result in A is an overestimate or an underestimate for the number of people in the town who own a smartphone? I think it's an overestimate. The sort of people who wouldn't own a smartphone are more likely to be kind of older people, I think. You know, people like kind of grandfathers and grandmothers and stuff like that, not to, you know, cast aspersions, but they're less likely to have a smartphone. So if it's just 17-year-olds, this is going to be kind of too high. Okay, 17-year-old, very, very likely to own one. However, older people may not. Solve this. Solution by trial and improvement will not be accepted. So I'm going to change this so it's all over 15 to get a common denominator. So I'm going to times top and bottom of this by 3. So it's going to be 6x minus 3 over 15. So what I'm going to do here, times top and bottom by 5. So 5 is going to be then 20 x plus 25 all over 15, and then times top and bottom. This one, don't forget this one, is 100 over 15. I can now times through everything by 15, and it should become a lot easier again. 6x minus 3 plus 20x plus 25 equals 100. Join together like terms. 26x plus 22 is 100. 26x is 78. And x is 3. Answer for that one is 3. Value of John's house has risen by 3.5%. It is now worth 150,075. What was the original value of John's house? This is a reverse percentage. So 150,075 is equal to 103.5%. So to find 1%, we need to do 150,075 divided by 103.5. And that gives me 1450. And then 100% is going to be 1450 times by 100, which of course is 14500. So it's 145,000. Question 27. So 27a, I'm going to use FOIL for this. 2x times the 3x gives me 6x squared outer plus 4x inner minus 15x, and then take away 10, joining together my like terms. 6x squared minus 11x minus 10. Simplify this. The cheeky question. This here is the difference of two squares, so we would change that to x plus 7 upon x minus 7. On the bottom there's a common factor of 2 that comes out, and that would be x 2 upon x minus 7. Hopefully that wasn't too quick for you. So 2 times x gives me 2x, 2 times the minus 7 is the minus 14, and then that is going to cancel with that. So my answer then is going to be x plus 7 over 2.